Hi there, my name is Kay Moon and I'm a twin soul channel and Western astrologer. And this video is about the full moon in Pisces for September of 2021, occurring on September 20th at 7:45 p.m. If you happened to be on the eastern seaboard of the United States, please check a time zone converter for your local time. I just wanted to say I'm so sorry that this video is coming out after the full moon. I know there are those of you who really like to see these things before, and to the best of my ability, I certainly provide it before. However, there were definitely some other things I needed to attend to offline prior to this full moon that were a bit time sensitive. So you are getting this now, and I hope you enjoy it, as the energies certainly can be influential for up to a week to 10 days post lunation. All of that said, the October calendar is open. So if you'd like to book time with me sometime in October to look at your chart and the energies prior to the end of the year going into 2022, now is a great time to book over at kmoonastro.com. Okay, so let's get into this energy. This full moon had some significant influences. It was speaking to Neptune, which gave it a very dreamy, kind of sleepy, wistful, mystical influence, gave it a bit of a spiritual undertone. It was opposite our friend here, Mars. And this, interestingly enough, because of Mars' position, Mars had some other conversations going on. Mars speaking to Saturn by trine, and Mars speaking to, what else was Mars speaking to? Okay, just the moon, and then the sun here. This brings Mars into the mix as an influential player during this lunation. So remember, Mars is about motivation, forward projecting movement. In the light, it's ambition, it's passion, it's drive. In the shadow, it can be aggression, and it can be kind of over assertion. It can almost be controlling, running over people's toes, kind of impulsive action. With Mars speaking to the full moon in this way, and the moon and the sun, Mars's role in this lunation created an energy of gotta get up and do something, gotta make a change, gotta create something, gotta move forward, gotta push past whatever blockages may be presenting in one way or another. So there's a lot of motivation that came with this full moon to take passionate action or take action on our passions. Interestingly enough, there were some other features about this that had a lot of influence in the realm of romance, which we'll get to in a moment. And there was also an influence and an energy about this having to do with, kind of really overturning old patterns, overturning old behaviors, turning over a new leaf. And we'll talk about that as well. But just keep in mind, that Mars's activity in the midst of this Neptunian spiritual approach to this full moon lent itself to a drive to act, to do, to create, to step forward. Okay, this full moon also sat in sextile to Pluto, and here's Pluto up here. Sextile is an energy that lends itself to getting helpful results if we're willing to do the work. Pluto is all about transformation and transformative cycles. So the transformation from an ending through the afterlife and into a new beginning. This particular full moon gave us inspiration that we needed to see what kind of things were dead and gone, and gave us some insight, especially because Pluto was having a conversation over here with Mercury gave us insight, Mercury being mind, into what we would have to do in order to get to a different place in our life, whatever house Capricorn governs, whatever sign, or not sign, but whatever place in your chart is areas of your life governed by Capricorn. You want to pay attention to that, because this full moon started to bring in insights about what needs to shift in order to get new results. And that's in part due to this Neptunian influence, the spiritual awareness component of this full moon in Pisces, and Mercury speaking to Pluto in this way. It provided this, and Pluto speaking to Moon, it provided an opportunity for us to see behind our own veil, to get a peek into our own subconscious mind, to answer the question, why am I like this? What am I getting out of this? What do I need from this? And how can I move forward from this? And this is a pivotal fulcrum point in our move toward the energies of 2022, because the insights that are coming in with this full moon in Pisces about, the self-awareness pieces and what it's going to take to create our lives in a direction that's really aligned with our soul. These insights that are flowing in at this time are setting us up for a completely new beginning and new chapter as we move toward 2022. And that's actually very exciting. Okay. We talked about Mars, we talked about Neptune, we talked about Pluto. So those are the big energies. When you put them all together, there's an energy of this full moon that speaks directly to revelation and insight. And there are some romance pieces, which we'll get to in a minute, that aren't specifically talking to the full moon, but are certainly very loud at this full moon. And what this does is it brings a level of passion and commitment to what happens next, and a willingness to take the next step into, for some, what might be some uncharted territory or new territory. Like I said, the October calendar is open. You can find me at kmoonastro.com if you'd like to book a reading. We're going to get into these other energies in a moment. Let's see if YouTube wants to show a quick commercial break. Awesome. Hopefully it showed it, but if not to worry. Sometimes it doesn't show. But let's get into some of these other energies. So we've got an energy here that's amplifying the awareness, intuition, and insight. And this is Jupiter and Mercury speaking in harmony to one another. This is allowing us to have greater awareness about the things that we have been working on manifesting. Jupiter is our planet of manifestation. It brings things to bear through our own faith. And Mercury's energy is bringing to our awareness where we may have had some experiences that we're trying to manifest, but they're not quite happening. And this lends itself, because Jupiter is retrograde. Mercury is about to go retrograde for 3 weeks. This is lending itself to our own awareness about what we need to shift, what we might need to shift in our thinking and our speaking. Those are Mercury controlled energies. And Jupiter and the way we interact with other people, the people around us, those are Aquarian energies in order to achieve our goals and outcomes. Mercury sitting in Libra is really about consciousness and the arena of relationship. Libra is our relationship sign. Aquarius is our sign of the group, technology, quantum leaps forward, development and growth. And so the two of these together are really revealing to us, oh, this is why I am where I'm at with the people in my life, with the groups that I'm involved in, with the relationships that I'm in. There is divine aha and insight here in the world of relating, dating, mating, committing, and connecting. And that's further echoed by the way that Uranus and Venus sit in opposition as we come off of this full moon. That energy peaks toward the end of the week after the full moon in Pisces. And so when this energy hits, Uranus opposite Venus lends itself to an energy of surprises in the world of love and or money, surprises, people who kind of take us by surprise, either through their behavior or, maybe surprise declarations of love, surprise kind of energies of surprise, I want to see you, surprise, I feel this way about you. Even your own emotions might take you by surprise this week in the arena of connection, love, commitment, dating, mating, and relating. And what's interesting about this to me is that they almost sit in a loose T square with Saturn. And so those of you who know, me and my work, I talk about the T squares being an aspect of tension and that tension is relieved by including the sign that's conspicuous in its omission, and that's Libra. So Saturn wants the tried and true. Uranus wants the brand new. And Venus is over here in the sign of her fall in Scorpio, like, what do I got to do to get love? How do I make things work? Some of her shadow energies come out in Scorpio: possessiveness, controlling, manipulation, kind of that sticky codependency energy with people shows up. And all of these put together are pushing us into Leo energy, which is our sovereignty to find the solution. Typically, we aren't creatures of extremes where we only ever want the new or we only ever want the tried and true. We need a balance of novelty and security in order to feel like we have the right ratio of growth and safety in our lives. And so this Leo energy, stepping into sovereignty, not diving headlong into something that is completely unconventional, and abandoning, that would be leaning too far into Uranus, and abandoning, that which is familiar, could end up having dire repercussions later. Likewise, Saturnian energy, leaning into the tried and true, the traditional, the old faithful, old reliable, but ignoring our need for novelty, is really going to, again, cause problems in the world of growth. It can cause stagnation and resentment. And so when you add Venus into the mix here, the Venusian energy is asking us, okay, what is actually the step that I have been unwilling to take in the world of either love or money, because that's what she represents? What's the step I have been unwilling to take that is going to yield the most positive results, given this pendulum swing between new and old, new and old, new and old? How do I bring this into a balance by really honoring my shadow energies and the things that I wish weren't the way they were about me? Venus in shadow inside Scorpio, she brings a lot of her shadow energies forward there. And how do I, inside of recognizing these things, how do I bring them into balance by being a complete sovereign person, honoring who I am, honoring what I know about myself, taking action in terms of where it is that I feel most whole, most complete? How do I put my own oxygen mask on first and not just get caught up in the dreaminess of the full moon or the newness of something kind of novel running in, like a new investment, got to jump on it, a new person, need to dive into them? How do I actually lean into my own sovereignty and inquire this Jupiter trine Mercury? What is it about this that's lighting me up? What is it about this that I have need for? And how can I create this in a way that doesn't have negative repercussions later because of the impulsivity energy of this new moon or full moon? And that's that Mars piece that we were talking about earlier, because there can be a lot of impulsivity here, and there can be a lot of repercussions for impulsivity down the road. So just keep that kind of thing in mind as we're looking at this energy, that the question is about coming into sovereignty and coming into recognizing, our impulses as indicating needs, not necessarily indicating a thing to do. How do we then take that need and get it met in the way that honors our sovereignty best? Okay. So we talked about the T square, we talked about the Uranian influence, Mercury trine Jupiter, a lot of revelation and insight about ourselves and who we are in relationship. We spoke about that. Cool. And then we have this Mars trine Saturn influence. And this is a fun one because it pairs our discipline with our motivation. And we have this ability to execute and deliver even when we are experiencing setbacks. We have the discipline and self-control to carry forward. And so what's fun about this energy is for those of you who are just kind of getting relationships off the ground, because this is definitely, it has a strong relationship impact. It kind of grounds passion into action. Especially when we have one of the planets in a relationship sign, which we do in Libra. This gives us an opportunity to make things real, to bring our passion out of us and place it into the world where others can see it. And so whether you're working on a business or co-creating with others, or you're building a new relationship and wanting to ground it, this gives us that extra oomph, that extra motivation to take some new steps, do a new thing to move things to the next level. And so it's interesting. I'll share, because there's some very obvious ways that this plays out. It's like, yes, we move from dating into exclusivity. That's kind of obvious. But here's an example with a client of mine. She's been seeing someone whom she loves. He loves her, but he's moved into a place in his world where, he wants to have an open relationship. His wife has, decided, okay, I'm willing to explore it, but is being a little passive aggressive about it. And this has gone on for years for the three of them, where, she's kind of paying lip service to being interested, the wife, but behaviorally saying not interested at all. He's kind of been backed up, like, I'm not interested in dealing with this. It's fine. Everything's great. And my client is like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to step on this woman if she's really not interested. And simultaneously, I love this man. I'm kind of caught. What do I do? This is an energy, as this full moon came to unfold, where what was taking it to the next level for the three of them was an opportunity for him to step forward and say, I know that what I need to do is create this for the three of us in a way that really honors the two of you and myself. And in order for me to do that, I actually can't just pretend like everything's fine. I actually need to go back into my man cave and retool my structure for this relationship and face certain things in this relationship with both of you that I may not have really been willing to face in order to get things to a positive place for everyone involved. Because he just wasn't really looking at it. He was getting what he wanted from, everyone involved, but the two of them really, the two ladies felt pretty at odds. And so, he's just taken the time. He stepped back. He said, listen, I really want to figure this out. I'm ready to dig a little deeper. I'm ready to go to the next level and figure out what I need to do to make it so that this is really workable, not just lip service workable for all of us. And so that meant that he needed to step back from the connection in order to facilitate that. And he communicated wonderfully about that with my client. So that's a kind of way that this can unfold, because Saturn brings integrity. Saturn brings, how do I make this whole? Saturn says, how do I facilitate this in a way that no parts of me are left out, no parts of you are left out? And then Mars just adds the motor. to that GPS system and says, okay, giddy up, let's do this. So, really lovely energy here that's inviting us into deeper self awareness, deeper growth, greater creativity about the way we are making things work in the realm of relationship, and certainly the motivation to not just see things from a spiritual perspective, moon opposite Mars there, full moon opposite Mars, but to then take action on that, recognizing any impulses that come up during this period of time as an indication of true needs that we may have, that rather than meeting them impulsively, we can build them into a life that actually serves who we are. So, and who we're becoming, and honors the people around us for where they're at as well. So, hopefully that's helpful, gives you a little insight into what's been happening during this lunation and things that will continue to unfold in the next 10 days or so. You can find me at kmoonastro.com if you'd like to book a session, look at the energies between now and the end of the year. And the one thing that I ask, if you are going to book a twin flame or relationship reading, if you have not ever met your twin, like you guys just, you've seen them online from a distance and you feel for sure they're your twin, or you feel for sure you are a twin soul, but you haven't met your person yet, rather than book a twin reading with me, I just ask that you please respect what's on my website. Please just book a individual reading until that person is a part of your world in some sort of consistent way. Or if they have been in the past, but you're not communicating now, that's fine. But if you've just never met your person yet, I ask that you just wait until you do to book a twin reading. I've said this on my website that, it's very important to me to not read for people who aren't a part of your world. There have been those who have, really tried to use my gift to participate in behaviors that in the third dimension might be considered stalking. And I can't get involved with that. So thank you for respecting that. It's one thing if your person and you're trying to make sense of an ending and they're not in your life anymore. It's a whole other thing if you two just have never met. So please, 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 I ask you to just respect that and only book with me if you and your person have met. Thanks so much. Take great care and bye for now.